The opposition is free to sue on fingerprinting, AG says. PLP politician calls for free preschool education. And the West Indies are closer to the semifinals of the World T20. Welcome to Nation News for Monday, March the 21st, 2016. Thanks so much for joining us. Attorney General Adriel Brathwaite says government is not concerned about threatened court action on planned mandatory fingerprinting at ports of entry. Rights activist and attorney David Commichon, the Barbados Labour Party and the Bar Association have all indicated that they will contest the constitutionality of the move. Mr. Brathwaite told reporters that the opposition is free to take government to court anytime they believe they have a case. However, he said the Friendle Stewart administration will do what is best for the country. In mid-February, it was announced that from April the 1st, people entering and leaving Barbados would be fingerprinted as a security measure. However, in light of the objections, the plan was deferred so the legal issues could be further examined. A prospective Barbados Labour Party parliamentary candidate is making a case for government to foot the cost of preschool education, even as it has abandoned paying tuition at UE for Bajan students. Speaking at a constituency branch meeting on Sunday, Ralph Thorn said changes in the extended family structure with mothers and grandmothers also working will require the state to provide free nursery school education.
We are asking them to pay to keep that child when they are out working otherwise and can do no better because the extended family has been dismantled. We've lost the old grandmothers and the younger grandmothers are themselves working. So it is no criticism of anyone. And I thought we had reached the stage where we should be seeking to have our tax dollars paid for preschool education to alleviate the hardship on women. And I don't understand it. Why we have convinced ourselves that you must pay for preschool. And when I say you, Sandy, I mean the parent, the struggling parent must pay for preschool. And when the child reaches the age of 5, the parent breathes a sigh of relief. Oh Lord, I don't have to pay that anymore. In my view, the state ought to be paying for the child at its most vulnerable. And any of us seriously engaged in politics must acknowledge that our endeavor, our pursuit, must concern itself with the two most vulnerable groups in society. The very young and the very old. That must be at the center of our political pursuits. Always must be at the center. And I thought that we were at the stage when we were about to enfranchise those mothers and those fathers.
Mr. Thorn, who has been selected to contest Christchurch South, also challenged government on the costs of the 50th anniversary celebrations. The lawyer says the final bill will be about $15 million, triple the announced budget. Residents of communities in St. Joseph and St. John say their water problems have got worse. As hundreds of water authority workers remain off the job, some residents told Nation News their fear outages will ruin their Easter season. In Branchbury and St. Joseph, the message was that patience is running low as promised relief has not arrived. One woman who gave her name as Marcia said the outages disrupted household chores and prevented her grandchildren from attending school regularly.
So we don't know when the people are going to go back to work. So we don't know how worse the water problem will get. You understand? But you always hear it does ring the people from Bradbury have to speak out.
Unionized water authority workers have been on strike since Wednesday to press for what they say are unpaid increments. Labour Minister Senator Esther Bayasuku is to conciliate in the dispute and has scheduled a meeting with workers' union representatives on Tuesday. On another issue, the Labour Minister has given an assurance that long-promised sexual harassment legislation is coming, though she did not say when. Esther Bayasuku said harassment in the workplace is not only affecting women but also young boys and older men. She said she knew a number of women who are afraid to go to work, and the coming legislation would help workers to feel more comfortable. Concern about the absence of harassment legislation had been raised earlier by High Court Judge Jacqueline Cornelius at another event. She said a draft bill had been in the works for 15 years, and there was no indication when it would become a reality. Members of the Pinelands community came together at the weekend to walk all over cancer. The fundraising initiative was started by Paulette Barrow, who approached the Pinelands Creative Workshop for support in her own fight against cancer. The workshop's executive director, Rodney Grant, said the event created more awareness about the disease in the community, and other residents came forward to share their diagnoses. Mr. Grant said the aim is to assist others living with cancer.
We really felt that it was important to really do this because the cost of care in terms of dealing with this is phenomenal, and therefore it gives us the opportunity to raise funds to support Paulette in this instance. But in the long run, we will definitely be putting a process in place to support all other sufferers of cancer in the community. So we see this as a start, but we will put in a long-term strategy in place.
In sport, West Indies look poised to reach the semifinals of the World T20 after their victory over champions Sri Lanka on Sunday to make it 2 out of 2. Andrea Fletcher, who got the chance to open after Chris Gayle injured a hamstring in the field, stroked 84 off 64 balls in a 7-wicket win. After the match, Fletcher was asked what he thought of his team's chances of lifting the trophy.
Well, since before the World Cup, we know what we're capable of. We know the strength of our team, and we always back ourselves to win the World Cup. So, it's good to see that we have 2 wins under our belt. So, as I said, once we get to the semi-finals, we take it from there into the finals. And for sure, once we continue playing the cricket that we are accustomed playing, we would win lift the cup.
The next West Indies match is against South Africa on Friday, and victory would guarantee a semi-final spot. Let's hope it will be a good Friday. West Indies women are also doing well in their World T20, beating Bangladesh by 49 runs on Sunday for win number 2. And finally, a couple in Missouri in the United States have 2 very valuable rings back against almost incomprehensible odds. A newspaper reports that Carla Squitieri took off the rings while washing dishes at their home on March the 13th and put them on a paper towel to dry. Her husband, Bernie, later tossed the paper towel in the trash. The couple realized the mistake the next day and ran to the trash can, only to realize that the garbage truck had already collected the rings, valued at nearly $1 million Barbados dollars, that they were gone. By the time they reached the local waste service, the haulers had collected from hundreds of other homes. Yet, somehow, digging through tons of trash at the disposal site, the service operations manager found the rings. Unbelievable. And that's Nation News for Monday. For more news, log on to nationnews.com and follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And remember to pick up your Daily Nation on Tuesday or subscribe to our e-paper.